Hello everyone. Before we talk about our setup, let me discuss a few points of this build. High damage. We will use skills from the blue and red tree to stack fire damage, gun damage, and explosions. In addition, we'll use Auto-Bear for the extra firepower. High shield. With the use of Phalanx Doctrine and the option to use a Deathless artifact, we'll achieve better survivability. Moze-Bear combo. The idea is to use Iron Bear as a sentry and take advantage of its powerful selection of weapons. So in this section, we'll talk about skills. First up in the blue tree, Fire in the Skag Den for fire damage and all of our splash damage. This includes splash damage from guns, grenades, and Iron Bear. Also, this skill scales with Mayhem mode, meaning the higher the Mayhem level, the higher the bonus. Grizzled. This one is for keeping our Iron Bear ready at all times. Means of Destruction. This skill will keep our ammo and grenades filled most of the time. Torque Cross Promotion for more splash damage. Stainless Steel Bear for beefing up our Iron Bear with more damage and armor. Pull the Holy Pin. This will have our grenades crit for more firepower. Auto-Bear. Auto-Bear will turn Iron Bear into a sentry and will be the added extra firepower as Moze destroy all the enemies. This is the butter in our bread. Vampire. 1 point only here to move down the tree. This will keep our Iron Bear healed up as it does splash damage with its weapons. Short Fuse. The most important skill in this tree. This will improve our guns to have splash damage 20% of its shots. Especially useful in automatic weapons, this skill also scales with Mayhem levels. Very useful to synergize with Fire in the Skag Den. Next up in the red tree, Security Bear. For more survivability to our Iron Bear. Armored Infantry to move down the tree. Gun damage and damage resistance is always nice. Drowning in Brass to stack up damage up to 60%, very useful for mobbing. Thin Red Line to get more shields and open up a very useful anointment. Vladov Ingenuity, because more shields is nice. Experimental Munitions for more fire damage. Desperate Measures, more gun damage depending on the artifact that we're using, and which I'll explain in a bit. Phalanx Doctrine for stacking more gun damage and shield, another mobbing skill. Force Feedback to keep our shields up as long as we kill with crits. Tenacious Defense for second winding. Depending on the artifact that we are using, this will down us or keep us up. Either way, we'll get more gun damage. For our remaining points, we'll spend the rest of it here in the green tree. Cloud of Lead for more fire damage and extra ammo. Daka Bear to boost Iron Bear damage. Redistribution for ammo regen whenever we crit. Now let's move on to gears. Let's start off with our shields. Transformer. This shield will keep us alive, and bullet absorption will be a big help with that. Also, with the Pool Party modifier, it will give us lots of opportunities to regen our shields. We will use amp shields for bosses. With weapons like the Moonfire or the Ion Cannon, we can one-shot enemies to make our farming sessions easier. If you have Season Pass or the Handsome Jackpot DLC, you can definitely use the Double Downer for second winding. Here's a quick demonstration on how the Pool Party and the Transformer Shield work perfectly together. Whenever you deplete an enemy's health or armor or shield, they will drop an elemental pool. We want to stand on the shock pools to keep our shield up. For our grenades, Tracker, you can use this to deal a bit of damage. The grenades will crit using Pull the Holy Pin, activating Redistribution, and because of the splash damage, it will also proc Means of Destruction. You may farm tracker grenades from vending machines. Light Speed. While it may be a bit difficult to obtain, this grenade has a really high base damage. It crits with Pull the Holy Pin, making easy work of trash mobs in the room. For the class mods, Blastmaster. We'll use this for mobbing. It will increase splash damage from all sources. This includes splash damage from guns, grenades, and Iron Bear. Minesweeper. Mainly for bosses, every crit damage will have a chance to spawn mini grenades that can deal very high damage. These grenades can crit from Pull the Holy Pin and may also spawn more mini grenades which deals more damage. The Bloodletter. Use this mod if you prefer survivability. With the added points to Phalanx Doctrine, we can boost our shield capacity up to above 100k. And for our artifacts, the Deathless will reserve all of our health down to 1, but will double our shield. Also, we'll benefit from the URAD Anoint and the Desperate Measure skill. The White Elephant. For our melee damage setup, try to find one with the Knife Drain prefix so that we can lifesteal. With a Bloodletter class mod and an Amp shield, we will constantly regen shields and amp our shots. The Pearl. If you have the Season Pass or the Guns, Love, and Tentacles DLC, you can get this by playing through the main quest line of the DLC. This artifact will double our damage output as long as we are hitting enemies. For our weapons, we'll start off with the base game. Hellshock. Good damage and fire rate. The Lob. Slow projectile, but really high base damage and splash. Face Puncher. For our melee setup, use this together with the Bloodletter class mod and the White Elephant artifact. The Monarch. Great damage with its fire rate, better in bipod mode. Sandhawk. Consumes a lot of ammo, but it's one of the top tier guns in our loadout. The Backburner. Our high damage RPG. Use this for bosses or for clearing an area. Moonfire. It can one-shot bosses, making our farming sessions easier. For the DLC weapons, Flipper. Probably the best gun from Moze. Fires multiple splash damage projectiles at the cost of 1 ammo per shot. Anarchy. At full stacks, it will make easy work of enemies. Beacon. Not as strong as the Flipper, but a really good addition to your loadout. The Dowsing Rod. Always switch to grenade launcher mode. Gargoyle. Really good against armored enemies, also deals splash damage. The Lucky 7. Roll the crit, explosion, and 7 pellet buffs. The Light Show. Similar to the Monarch, but in pistol form. Unkempt Herald. Another great addition to your splash damage loadout. Contained Blast. The stickies make short work of mobs and even bosses. Complex Root. Pretty dangerous to use, but if you pair this with a double downer, you can clear an area full of enemies at high risk. The Ion Cannon. An alternative to the Moonfire one-shot trick, but has more damage. Good for farming bosses really quick. And here are some more guides when playing Moze. Here are the anointments that you should be looking for when you're farming. The URAD Anoint. Since we're running Half-Life from Thin Red Line or 1 HP from Deathless, we will always benefit from this anoint. Find this anointment on a Face Puncher, Sandhawk, or Backburner. 390. Very powerful anointment. Find this one on the Anarchy, Moonfire, or the Ion Cannon. Not recommended on automatic weapons. Consecutive Hits. This is a great alternative to URAD, useful for guns that have automatic firing. Find this anoint on a Flipper, Monarch, or Light Show. 160 Splash. Since our playstyle is mostly going into Iron Bear, then jumping out, we'll be taking advantage of Iron Bear exit anoints and action skill end anointments. This one is a great anointment since we'll be adding more power to our splash damage. And here are more action skill and Iron Bear exit anointments that you may use. And for the Mayhem Modifiers, these are the modifiers that you can roll. The general gameplay of this build is to always hop on Iron Bear, then eject immediately. This will boost your firepower immensely. Here's Moze doing Slaughter Star 3000 using all of the elements in this guide. I hope you liked this video, and stay tuned for more guides on Borderlands 3. Thanks for watching.